Our specific actions is the 3-ball cascade, which is the simplest pattern of juggling using an odd number of props. The props are thrown from around the body's midline and they pass in an arc underneath the preceding throw from one hand to another. This generates a figure of 8 path and can be seen from our juggler over here. In our specific setup or test conditions, the area had to be free of obstacles and the juggling was to be done in an area the size of a hula hoop. The props that were used for scoring were palm-sized blue or yellow balls, and a total of 5 attempts were taken each time. Our quantifiable target, or our scoring system, is the number of successful catches we make in 30 seconds. So within these 30 seconds, all our group members attempt to catch the balls as many times as possible. 1 point is awarded every time we catch the ball once. What defines a successful catch is when we make the catch in a single cascade. However, if we drop the ball as such, this point is not counted and neither is this point, so only 1 point is counted. The goal that our team set for ourselves is to do a single cascade twice and catch a total of 12 times. In our pre-test performance, all the 5 attempts are shown. As can be seen in the video, we have little or no experience in juggling. Our scores range anywhere between 0 to 3. This indicates that we were either able to perform the cascade pattern once or not at all. Here are our pre-test results. So, how did we get from week 0 to getting our first cascade? The answer is segmentation and fractionalization.
Segmentation is a part task training method that involves practicing each part of the skill in progression, adding a new part to the previous until the whole skill is developed. Here are the following steps which the learner is required to hold all 3 balls. First, the learner will perform a single hand toss to the alternate side while holding the other 2 balls. Second, the learner will perform a dual hand toss while holding 1 ball. Next, the learner will perform a single cycle of 3-ball cascade. Lastly, performing the 3-ball cascade in a continuous motion.
Fractionalization is a part task training method related to asymmetric coordination skills that involves practicing each part separately before performing with them together.
So here are the following steps. First, the learner will perform a single hand toss with 1 ball. Second, the learner will perform a single hand toss to the alternate side with 1 ball. Third, the learner will perform a single hand toss to alternate side with passing. Next, the learner will perform a dual hand toss. Lastly, the learner will combine all the steps and perform a 3-ball cascade cycle with 3 balls.
Our budding jugglers were given the option to use the segmentation or fractionalization method in order to improve their juggling. The following video shows their improvement after the pre-test performance. As you can see, by the first week, most of us were able to do a single cascade. But just to make things even simpler for ourselves so that we can progress into a continuous cascade, we began with something called simplification. Simplification is the process where alternatives to the prop are used. This creates affordance for the juggler who is learning the 3-ball cascade. Such examples include using the foot bag, which is of a smaller size, and tissue paper, which has a longer flight time. For our conditions, we also made the playing area have no boundaries initially. This allowed less restriction for juggling so that our juggler could move around as well. All in all, simplification made the process of learning the 3-ball cascade easier. By the 3rd week since the pre-test, you can see that most of us have become proficient in attaining the 3-ball cascade cycles. Through sheer hard work and determination, as well as the concepts that were previously mentioned, our jugglers were able to go from juggling 0 balls with no cascades at all into going into a continuous cascade cycle. So, what else was occurring here? Well, there were 2 other motor control concepts that were happening.
Motor program-based theory explains motor control from a neurological perspective, whereby the brain exerts executive control over the body. An analogy to explain this theory is that our brain has an Excel sheet that has many parameters and their corresponding values, which help the learner perform the motor skill of juggling. With each practice, The values in this Excel sheet are updated and gradually optimized so that the juggling becomes more proficient. Dynamic systems theory explains motor control from the interaction of the system's constraints to achieve a stable state. The constraints are the organism, environment, and task. With practice, the body's self-organization improves to execute the most efficient juggling pattern within the stipulated constraints.
So, did motor learning occur for our team? Improvement-wise, the number of catches increased for all our members. In fact, we were able to hit our set target of 12 for each person. Consistency-wise, the results were relatively inconsistent, but at the end of the 5 weeks, all the members could perform at least more than one single cascade. With regards to stability and persistence, all of us could still perform the 3-ball cascade with the blue-yellow balls regardless of environment or stress factors such as the presence of other people. However, there's still a yet to conduct retention test. And with regards to adaptability, we have yet to see what else we can juggle with, although we'll be excited to take up the challenge. Checking our performance on graphs, it can be seen that our improvement was positively accelerated. It took some time to grasp the concept of the 3-ball cascade. But once we did, the scores began to rise quickly as well. It can be seen that we have progressed from a cognitive to associative stage in our skill level. Our top juggler Jia might even be closing in to an autonomous stage. However, as can be seen, there are still some performance errors, which is why he was only able to hit a high score twice.
In the later stage, the team introduced contextual interference into practice. After improving over the weeks, the team introduced interference through performing various skills or tasks within the context of practice. The students included various skills such as underleg tosses, kicking, and catching while juggling. This should aid in retention of 3-ball cascade skill, as the interference introduced would help one to elaborate or discover the distinctiveness among skills. The learner is constantly challenged to produce the appropriate motor plans for the various movements, developing a memory representation for each skill.
We hope you have enjoyed this juggling tutorial. All the best on getting your 3-ball cascade right. Thank you and see you again.